Right, UFC 302 in a nutshell. It was alright. We've been spoiled lately with some of the best cards in history, so it's hard to contend. But it had some great moments. Randy Brown versus Dos Santos got us started. Eye pokes were a bit of a problem. Not a great start for the new gloves. Good fight though, and a good performance from Brown. Hopefully he gets that Jeff Neal fight. Nico Price versus Alex Morono had a bit of a brawl. It's weird watching Morono fight. The way he stands and moves around between the action looks like he doesn't actually know how to fight. And it looks like he might be out on his feet. He looks like if that bug guy that wants sugar out of Men in Black was in the cage. And then he throws some really nice combo out of nowhere, including things like a spinning back fist and crazy kicks. Love it. Kevin Holland entered the cage in high spirits, dancing around, then almost immediately gets caught with a beautiful right hand and straight into trouble. It was nice to see him active and aggressive from the bottom straight away though, and then he catches that armbar. That Michelle geezer is a psychopath, and I don't think he tapped. And he wanted to carry on. But good to see Holland get a win. I always say it, but it's always fun to see him in the cage. And then we have Costa versus Strickland. In typical fashion, Strickland, after promising us the most horrific violence we've ever seen, proceeds to go in there and play tippy-tap. Within the first 20 seconds of the first round, Rogan had already diagnosed Sean with calf damage, saying Sean was compromised and the leg was already swelling up, like he himself was playing Roganism bingo. But Strickland seemed to execute his game plan almost perfectly, showing great defence and not taking one step back. He even knocked Costa down at one point, but didn't rush it. The second round was more of the same, Costa looking for one of his big moments, but getting caught up in Strickland's game. Rogan beautifully calls out one of Costa's spinning kicks just seconds before it, which was nice. And then at the end of that round, Costa looks completely gassed. Strickland turns up the heat in the third, starting to put a stamp on it. The fourth round was much more competitive though. The blatant lies that Costa's corner had told him in between the rounds seemed to have paid off. Still probably would have given the fourth round to Strickland, but much closer. A very close fifth round. Strickland really seemed to struggle to let the dog out, which seems to be a thing for him. It starts you questioning how close the whole fight was. And then in now trademark Sean Strickland style, he then turns into a madman for the last 20 seconds of the fifth round, fighting the way he should have been fighting for the last couple of minutes. After one judge does his absolute best to steal it, Strickland gets the deserved win and onwards to the belt. After the UFC quickly get their race war title fight that Dana's lips are salivating for so badly. And then we have the main event, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. The first round was exactly what we worried would happen. After all those diamond-encrusted fairy tales we told ourselves in the lead-up, it looked like it was going to be over before it began. But they ended up with Islam on Dustin's back, and Dustin managed to fairly comfortably defend his way into the second round. And damn, that second round was what we all hoped for. Competitive, tense, an actual fight. Round 3, a bit of grappling dominance from Islam in the first half, but then it evens out with some competitive action on the feet in the second. Don't you make us believe in you, Dustin. Don't you do it! Fuck me, the fourth round was even more competitive. We've got ourselves a fight. Dustin is doing far better than most of us believed, if we're honest. Whilst if it goes to the scorecards, Islam's wrestling will do it for sure, it really seems like Dustin has a chance of laying it on Islam and catching him. The fifth round was really fun. We got our money's worth, guys. Dustin landed a beautiful left, which, credit to Islam, he just ate up. Islam seemed a bit desperate for the takedown, although he got it with a wicked sweep, and then ended the fight with a dance. Islam is not Khabib. He may well be more rounded, but he's far from superhuman. Volk showed it in their first fight, and now Dustin has made it even more evident. Islam is definitely beatable, but not tonight. He won fair and square. His striking was keeping up with Dustin, which is saying something. Islam is the best lightweight right now. Could one of the top lightweights beat him? It's possible, but it's unlikely for a few years, I think. And Islam's more well-rounded style leads to some exciting fights. I'm a fan, he seems like a good guy. Although after watching that fight, I think Leon beats him fairly comfortably. If they want to make that fight, it'll be a fun matchup. But Leon and Islam are both a little on the inactive side, so even if he won, do we really want Islam with 2 belts? Dustin sort of retired, with his daughter crying in the crowd, clearly traumatised. I don't know why they do that. I think if he accepts that the title is over for him, Dana might just be able to lure him back with a fun matchup. But otherwise, it's a great finish to a Hall of Fame career. So there you go. Thanks 302. On to the next. Anyway, if you like this video, give us a sub, check out this playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.